5 terrifying ghost stories that will haunt your dreams. Number 1. In the deep darkness of the night, when the moon was hidden behind a shroud of thick clouds, a lost ghost wandered through the desolate streets of a forgotten town. This ghost, named Ethan, had met a tragic fate long ago and was doomed to wander the earthly realm, unable to find peace. Ethan was not like other ghosts. He was tormented by the memories of his past, unable to move on to the afterlife. Consumed by anger and sadness, he became a vengeful spirit, seeking solace in the suffering of others. His ethereal form was obscured by a tattered cloak, and his eyes glowed with an eerie, otherworldly light. Driven by a desire to inflict the pain he felt onto the living, Ethan would search for those he believed were responsible for his untimely demise. He haunted their dreams, whispering sinister thoughts into their subconscious, planting seeds of fear and despair. Slowly, he would erode their sanity, preying on their vulnerabilities until they were left hollow shells of their former selves. The town had once been vibrant, filled with laughter and joy, but now it was a place shrouded in an oppressive silence. Rumors spread among the few remaining residents, tales of the malevolent ghost that preyed on those who crossed its path. People grew fearful, avoiding the darkness and the abandoned corners where Ethan's presence was known to linger. One night, a young woman named Lily found herself drawn to the eerie allure of the town. Curiosity led her to the abandoned streets, unaware of the danger that awaited her. As she wandered aimlessly, her steps echoed in the desolate silence, and a chill crawled up her spine. Ethan, sensing an opportunity, materialized before her. His ethereal form loomed over Lily, his eyes piercing into her very soul. But instead of feeling fear, Lily's heart was filled with empathy. She saw the pain and sorrow that consumed Ethan, recognizing his torment mirrored her own. Unbeknownst to the ghost, Lily had lost her loved ones in a tragic accident not long ago. She had been haunted by her own grief, unable to move forward in her life. Instead of succumbing to despair, Lily made a decision that would change the course of their fates. With a voice filled with compassion, Lily spoke softly to Ethan, acknowledging his anguish and offering him solace. She shared her own experiences of loss, revealing her understanding of the pain that had driven him to haunt others. Slowly, Ethan's anger began to fade, replaced by a glimmer of hope. Guided by Lily's compassion, Ethan began to confront the memories that bound him to the earthly realm. Lily supported him every step of the way, providing the strength he needed to face his past and find closure. As the weight of his haunting deeds lifted, Ethan's ethereal form began to dissipate, and he found himself drifting towards the light. In the end, Ethan's story was not one of vengeance, but of redemption. The once lost ghost had discovered forgiveness and understanding through the empathy of a kindred spirit. As the sun rose over the town, casting its golden rays upon the streets, Ethan's ethereal essence dissolved, leaving behind a sense of peace that permeated the forgotten corners of the once haunted town. From that day forward, the tale of the lost ghost and the compassionate woman became legend. People spoke of their encounter, reminding one another of the power of empathy and the healing that comes from understanding another's pain. And though Ethan was gone, his story lived on, a haunting reminder of the potential for redemption even in the most tormented souls. Number 2. In the small, quaint town of Greenwood, a sense of unease hung in the air like a heavy fog. The townsfolk whispered in hushed tones about the strange occurrences plaguing a seemingly ordinary house on Elm Street. No one dared to enter the premises after dusk, for they knew that something sinister resided within its walls, a malevolent poltergeist. The house had once been a cozy home, but now it stood as a foreboding relic, shrouded in darkness. It was said that the poltergeist had been awakened from a deep slumber, disturbed by an ancient curse that befell the land. No one knew the true origins of the curse, but they bore witness to its consequences. The poltergeist, a restless spirit with a penchant for chaos, reveled in its newfound power. It started with small, subtle disturbances, a flickering light here, an unexplained creak there. But as the days turned into nights, the poltergeist's malevolence grew, feeding off the terror of the house's inhabitants. The Peterson family had been the unfortunate souls to call the haunted house their home. John and Sarah Peterson, along with their 2 young children, Emma and Michael, had moved to Greenwood seeking a fresh start. Little did they know the horrors that awaited them within the confines of their new dwelling. At first, the family brushed off the odd incidents as mere coincidences. Objects would mysteriously move from one place to another, doors would slam shut without reason, and chilling whispers echoed through the halls. But as the poltergeist's strength intensified, its intentions became clear. It desired to tear the family apart. Emma, the youngest of the Peterson children, became the poltergeist's primary target. The entity toyed with her fragile mind, tormenting her with horrifying visions and disturbing voices that whispered terrible secrets. Emma's once bright and innocent demeanor faded, replaced by a haunted and terrified expression. John and Sarah, desperate to protect their children, sought help from local paranormal experts. They arrived armed with crucifixes, holy water and incantations, but their efforts only seemed to provoke the poltergeist further. The house shook with fury, furniture flew through the air, and malevolent laughter echoed from the shadows. As the poltergeist's wrath reached its climax, the Peterson family found themselves trapped within their own nightmare. The walls bled, grotesque apparitions lurked in every corner, and the very air was thick with malevolence. Each night brought a fresh wave of terror, driving the family to the brink of madness. But just when all hope seemed lost, a renowned paranormal investigator named Dr. Elizabeth Hartley arrived in Greenwood. Armed with years of experience, she delved into the dark history of the house on Elm Street, unearthing a forgotten tragedy that lay at the heart of the curse. Dr. Hartley, armed with newfound knowledge, conducted a risky séance in the house, summoning the restless spirit. In a chilling confrontation, she learned of the poltergeist's tormented past and the pain that bound it to the mortal realm. Driven by compassion, she sought to offer solace to the vengeful entity. Through tears and whispers, Dr. Hartley shared her understanding of the poltergeist's suffering, promising to help it find peace. In that moment of connection, the poltergeist's malevolence began to wane. Its spectral form flickered, and a haunting sadness replaced its rage. With the curse broken and the poltergeist's fury finally abated, the Peterson family could breathe a sigh of relief. The house on Elm Street remained a silent monument to the horrors that had transpired, but its occupants were finally free from the clutches of the entity. Number 3. In the glitz and glamour of Hollywood, where fame and fortune intertwined, lived a once-beloved celebrity named Isabella Knight. She had captivated audiences with her talent, beauty, and charm, becoming a household name around the world. But as fate would have it, Isabella's star was extinguished prematurely in a tragic accident. Months after her untimely demise, Isabella found herself trapped between the realms of the living and the dead. She emerged as a ghost, a spectral presence unseen and unheard by those she had once enchanted. It was a lonely existence, a bitter realization that fame meant nothing in the afterlife. Isabella wandered the bustling streets of Los Angeles, longing for recognition, but her ethereal form went unnoticed by the throngs of people passing her by. She would watch with a ghostly ache in her heart as fans swarmed the celebrity hotspots, chasing after the latest Hollywood sensation, completely oblivious to her presence. Desperate for attention, Isabella ventured to red carpet events, floating alongside the glamorous attendees, hoping to be noticed. But her efforts were in vain. The flashing cameras captured only the living, and she was nothing more than a forgotten wisp in the background. Night after night, Isabella returned to her abandoned mansion, a place once filled with laughter and adoration. Now it stood as a haunting reminder of her former life. She would sit in the grand ballroom where she had once danced with the stars and sing her heart out, her voice carrying through the empty halls but falling on deaf ears. The days turned into months, and the months into years, but Isabella remained an invisible spectre, a mere whisper of the past. She watched as her friends and colleagues mourned her loss, their grief turning into nostalgia and eventually fading away. She wondered how quickly she had been forgotten, how easily her existence had been erased. One fateful evening, as Isabella roamed the quiet streets of Hollywood, she stumbled upon a small theater tucked away in an alley. The sign outside read, "Open Mic Night." Intrigued, she floated inside, her translucent figure drawn to the stage. The aspiring performers were given a chance to shine, to be heard, no matter their status or fame. With a newfound hope, Isabella took to the stage, her ghostly presence a mystery to the audience. She sang a haunting melody, pouring her heart and soul into the performance. The ethereal notes filled the air, captivating everyone in the room. In that moment, the audience felt a connection, an inexplicable presence that touched their hearts. They might not have known who she was, but they felt her pain, her longing, and her undeniable talent. Applause erupted, and tears welled in the eyes of those who had been moved by her spectral performance. Word quickly spread of the mysterious ghostly singer who had graced the stage that night. People whispered about the voice that had haunted their dreams, filling them with both sorrow and beauty. Isabella Knight, the forgotten celebrity, had finally captured the attention she craved, even in death. From that day forward, the theatre became her sanctuary. Isabella would return each night, singing her heart out to an ever-growing audience that cherished her ethereal presence. Though she would never regain the fame she once possessed, she had found solace in the hearts of those who truly listened. And so, Isabella Knight's legacy lived on, not through magazine covers or tabloid gossip, but through the haunting melodies that echoed through the theatre, reminding all who listened that true talent transcends the boundaries of life and death. Number 4. I exist in the realm between the living and the dead, caught in the ethereal embrace of eternity. I am a ghost, a spectre of what once was, and I roam these earthly plains with a sense of longing and melancholy. My name is Amelia, and this is my story, told from the perspective of a ghost. Once I was a vibrant young woman full of dreams and aspirations, but tragedy struck my life abruptly, stealing away my future and leaving me as a mere whisper in the vast expanse of existence. Now I traverse the world unseen, my footsteps barely touching the ground as I drift through time. In the beginning, my ghostly existence was fraught with confusion and despair. I clung to the remnants of my former life, unable to accept the truth of my demise. The world around me moved forward, while I remained suspended in the sorrow of my untimely departure. As the years passed, I started to comprehend the nature of my ethereal state. I realized that I was no longer bound by the limitations of the physical realm. I could pass through solid objects, observe the world without being seen, and even manipulate certain aspects of my environment. Yet, with these newfound abilities came a deep sense of isolation. My loved ones, once so close, were now beyond my reach. I watched them from afar, yearning to connect with them, to feel their touch and hear their voices. But they were oblivious to my presence, living their lives as if I had never existed. The pain of being a ghost lies not in the absence of the physical, but in the absence of connection. Over time, I discovered solace in the company of fellow spirits who wandered the same astral planes. We shared stories of our past lives, reminiscing about the joys and sorrows that had shaped us. In their ethereal embrace, I found a sense of camaraderie and understanding that transcended the boundaries of time and space. As the years turned into centuries, I realized that my purpose as a ghost extended beyond my own existence. I became a silent guardian, watching over those who traversed the realms of the living. I would offer protection in moments of danger, whispering words of caution in the wind, even though my voice went unheard. In the quiet solitude of moonlit nights, I would visit places that held memories of my former life. I would caress the leaves of the old oak tree that shaded our favorite spot, feeling the remnants of warmth that lingered within its bark. I would float above the city streets, listening to the laughter and whispers of lovers, memories of my own long-lost romance echoing through my spectral being. In this strange existence, I have come to understand that time is a fluid concept. Moments meld together, blending past, present, and future. The lines that separate us, the living and the dead, are but thin veils in the tapestry of existence, and though I yearn for release, to finally rest in peace, I find comfort in the knowledge that even as a ghost, I can still touch the lives of others, and so I continue to wander, forever bound to the earthly plane. My essence may fade, my memories may blur, but the echoes of my existence will persist. I am Amelia, the ghost in the shadows, a silent observer of life's intricate dance, and in the depths of my ethereal essence, I hold on to the hope that one day my spirit will find its way to the light, and my journey as a ghost will come to an end. Number 5. In the heart of a small, secluded village, nestled amidst mist-laden hills, a dark secret lurked. The villagers spoke of a haunted mansion perched on a hilltop, its towering silhouette casting a chilling presence over the entire town. The whispers of the townsfolk wove a tale of a restless spirit that wandered its halls, a ghostly figure known as the Lady in White. Legend had it that the Lady in White was once a radiant young woman named Evelyn, who had tragically met her demise on the eve of her wedding day. Her soul, tormented by sorrow and unfinished business, became trapped in the earthly realm, doomed to forever haunt the halls of the mansion that had once held such promise. On a moonlit night, as the wind whispered secrets through the village, a curious traveller named Jonathan arrived. Drawn by tales of the Lady in White, he sought to unravel the truth behind the ghostly apparition. With courage in his heart and a lantern in hand, Jonathan ventured toward the foreboding mansion. As he crossed the threshold, a shiver ran down his spine, and the air grew heavy with anticipation. The mansion creaked and moaned, its dilapidated state a reflection of the trapped soul within. With each step, Jonathan felt the presence of the Lady in White growing stronger, her ethereal essence clinging to the walls. In the dim light, Jonathan caught a glimpse of a figure, a woman draped in a flowing white gown, her eyes filled with both sorrow and longing. It was Evelyn, the Lady in White, her form translucent yet captivating. She beckoned Jonathan deeper into the mansion, her voice a whisper in his ear. Driven by curiosity and a desire to bring peace to the tormented spirit, Jonathan followed the ghostly figure. She led him through the grand ballroom, where a phantom orchestra played a haunting melody, and into the shadowy corridors, lined with portraits that seemed to watch his every move. With each room they explored, Evelyn's story unfolded. She had been wronged by her fiancé, betrayed in the cruelest manner. Heartbreak and despair had consumed her, and in her anguish she met her tragic end. Now she sought justice and closure, her spirit bound by the pain of her past. Jonathan, compelled by empathy and a yearning to right the wrongs of the past, delved into the history of the village. He uncovered forgotten secrets and hidden truths, piecing together the puzzle of Evelyn's demise. With each revelation, the connection between the living and the dead grew stronger. Guided by their shared determination, Jonathan and Evelyn confronted the one who had caused her suffering, a man whose dark secrets had remained buried for far too long. In a climactic confrontation, the truth was unveiled, and the weight of guilt bore heavily upon the culprit's conscience. As the first light of dawn broke through the mansion's stained glass windows, Evelyn's ethereal form began to fade. She had found the closure she sought, her spirit finally released from its earthly tether. With a smile of gratitude, she bid farewell to Jonathan, her ghostly figure dissipating into the morning mist. The village, forever changed by the events that had transpired, breathed a sigh of relief. The Lady in White was no longer a tale of terror, but a symbol of redemption and justice, and though the mansion still stood, a reminder of the haunted past, its halls echoed with whispers of a ghost's journey toward peace. Jonathan, forever marked by his encounter with the Lady in White, carried her story with him, a reminder of the power of compassion and the depths of human resilience. And in the stillness of the night, the wind sometimes carried the faint sound of a wistful melody, some say, is a tribute to Jonathan from the Lady in White. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click the bell icon to be notified of new videos. You cheeky bastards.